like a solopreneur.
It's crazy. Like, like I have a great work ethic, but I'm not like built like that. So I'm very fortunate for the help that I have.
Yeah, but would you even really want to work like that if you had to do everything? Because I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Like anytime I can hire and delegate for something that somebody else is better than me at, or something that I just don't like to do, I'm going to do it. Like I'd rather make less and make my life. And actually, funny enough, like you typically will actually probably do better if you have infrastructure that can help you scale. But I can't imagine having to do every single little thing.
Yeah, it's giving, what's that quote? Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But I feel like for those people, working smarter is just doing it themselves.
Like
working harder would be talking to a billion people a day.
Maybe
that'd
that's
be like me running the social account here. And what is it? Posting the demure brat thing. I would have,
You don't even know.
I don't know. So I'd be lost. I'd be like,
yeah.
How do you think that the trans community has evolved since you were on last? Because I think it's evolved a lot.
Oh God, yeah. There's so much more visibility
a few things
now.
Have happened.
Oh, just a few,
Yeah.
just a tiny amount. No, there's so much more visibility now. Are you kidding me? I feel like back when we did our first interview, it was like I was one of the very few. Like you could count the trans content creators on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Especially that we're outspoken.
Yeah, especially that we were like actually sharing, not just out there.
You really, I mean, people should go back and listen because you like really shared your whole journey.
I did. I went back and I listened to a few, a snippet or two. I was like a little cringe. You know, when you listen back to yourself, I'm like, oh my God, that was like
we don't for that reason.
5 years ago. I'm like, I cannot stand the way I sound. I sound like an idiot. But it is about being just open and vocal and stuff like that. And I feel like now you log on to TikTok or wherever, and there's so many different stories, which is inspiring and beautiful. And there's every single walk of life of being transgender. And I think that is the beautiful part, one of the most beautiful parts of social media. And I think that, I've been so inspired by people so much younger than me because I'm like, I started my YouTube channel when I was like 15, 16. People are starting now and they're trans and open at like 9 years old, 10 years old. Like, it's crazy.
How does it feel to be one of the pioneer people who have helped change and shape the community? I mean, it's pretty cool.
It feels cool. It feels awesome. Yeah. Like wherever I can help, I'm here. And I meet people every single day that, whether it be the person that I've helped transition or a friend of or a parent of. And I'm just like, you're welcome. But like, thank you for being open, especially like the parents and all of that.
On that subject, it's a more heavy subject. What do you do when a parent comes to you or a child that's got a child that is underage, or when I say a minor, so like maybe like 9 or 10, and they're trying to navigate this?
You know what? It's very situational. It's very, very situational. I feel that there is an age too young to start hormones. There is an age too old to. I don't think there's an age too old to start hormones, but I feel like honestly, mentally, it can be damaging to start too late. It's very, very situational. I think that, somebody that wants to start hormones on their child super, super young, it's a choice. And somebody that wants to wait, that's also a choice.
But do you feel that in that instance, when they're that young, the choice is somewhat difficult because the child doesn't have all of their like faculties? For example, I'll relate it to, this is not a good example, but I didn't start getting tattooed till I was older. And I always say, it's like when I see people under 18 getting like self-made or something, I'm like, do you really want to do that when you're 16 years old? Before you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and this is a very minor example to something that's more serious. But what I'm saying is a child that age maybe doesn't have the mental faculties to actually make that serious decision when it comes to hormones. And like, I don't know so much about it, but I do know young guys that start getting on TRT and stuff for the gym. I'm like, hey, it's a real decision when you start kind of messing with your hormones.
Right. And then 10 years later, they have gynecomastia and they're in
they just don't know. Or even like some guys will do this and they don't realize it could impact fertility. And it's like they're doing it because they want to look really good from a gym outcome perspective. But they're not thinking all the way through. And I think with a child, they don't have the faculties to even think till next year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, great point. I get the tattoo reference, even though it is like obviously a little bit.
I'll get some shit for that reference, but I'm just trying to kind of
like you're good. I get it. I think, you know what? It's all about the relationship that you have with your child. So, not putting hormones in the same category as coming out as gay or whatever. You know your kid, So if your child comes to you at age 5 or 6 and says, I'm gay, I'm a boy, I like boys, that's one thing. You know, if they come to you and say, hey, I am a girl, as a boy, I'm a girl, that's another thing. You have to take that into your own, accord. Like, it is your responsibility whether you say, let's hold off on this. A lot of people think it's a phase. Their frontal lobe isn't developed, whatever, all of the arguments. But I feel like at the end of the day, it is your choice and your child and your situation and your family. And it is your decision whether you take them to the center and get them on hormones or blockers, whatever.
I think your answer is smart, that it's situational. You can't blanketly make a statement, I think, about really anything. I think it is so situational. It could be different.
But what do you think about instances where the state steps in and then it takes kind of the decision away between the parent and the child? Because I think that gets dicey.
It does, yes. And everyone wants to put everything in a box.
Sure.
Everyone wants to know,
That's why we like the show, because we try to talk about nuance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything needs to be in a box. So
and it's not like that all the time.
No, not at all. And I think, some of the I've met so many trans girls that transitioned and got, gender reaffirming surgery down there, whether they choose to or not. But I know girls that have had it done in their teenage years because their parents allowed them to, and they are happier than ever. But other girls I know that have had surgery and transition and hormones, they regret it. So it's all situational. Hard. Yeah, it's literally up to the parent and the child's relationship. But also, it might be easier for the parent just to be like, let's just wait till you're older, so it's like on you kind of vibe.
What happens if someone regrets it? Has someone said, I regret it to you?
Oh, yes.
So what's your advice?
I haven't undergone gender affirming surgery, or gender confirmation surgery, I think it's called. I should know this. I wrote a book on it. There's so many labels now. I'm like, I even get confused. But, I've had, girlfriends of mine come up to me and be like, I've had the surgery down there, or I've been on hormones for so long. And I do regret it because I can't orgasm. I feel not like myself. I don't feel like this body is mine. And that's very sad. It's one of the most mutilating things you can do to your body. So if you don't really need it or want it, then it's irreversible in a way.
You can't reverse it?
I don't know of a way that you can reverse.
We had one of the top, and I forgot his name. I have to look it up. We had one of the top surgeons who does gender reassignment surgery on the podcast. And
Harrison Lee.
He's in San Francisco.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband probably had his top surgery by him.
I think he's very, very skilled in that. Yeah. I have to get his name. And he came on, and I think that he said you cannot reverse it, but it is a technical surgery. It's not just something you just can decide.
No,
I think that you have to go. He said you have to go through tests, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Oh, it's brain, it's all that, and especially for if you're turning, penis into a vagina, there's a bunch of electrolysis you have to have done, like laser, and
That's
all
what he
the
said.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not just you wake up and you do it.
Michael Safier, yeah. What's his name?
Oh, why does that not ring a bell? Maybe there's another top SF surgeon I don't know.
I think Dr. Michael Safier. Okay. Yeah, he is supposedly one of the best surgeons. He came on. It's a very interesting episode if anyone wants to go back and listen. I think that it is situational, and it must be hard for the parent. I actually have a lot, because now I am a parent.
Yeah.
You want to make the right decision for your child.
Listen,
and whatever that is.
This is, again, I'll get some shit for this.
No,
I was
right.
crying the other day because we cut our son's hair. Right, because he had long hair, and I was like, "Oh, because I think when you have a child, you just you just want them to stay exactly as they are." Oh, I know when Lauren had her jaw surgery, her dad was he was crying. It was I don't know. I think it's your child, and it's from you, and then all of a sudden they're doing the I know my mom cried when I got tattoos, even it just.
Well, when you got a coffin on your leg, I'm sure she wasn't thrilled.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I think the parents, many of them, I think, are sometimes unfairly treated because people maybe that don't have children or don't understand that relationship, it's such a permanent thing to do, and the parent doesn't know how to contextualize. And like literally, like I said, I was crying because he got a haircut, and I think like you have to give some parents some grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.